But first, we got to say hi to Joe Francis. He's in the joint from Girls Gone Wild. Joe!
Yo!
There he is. The founder of Girls Gone Wild. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? I got my attorney, Dave Houston, on the phone with us, too.
Just in case. You always got to keep the attorney there. Now, I've been reading about some allegations being made of abuse in jail. Can you talk about that?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I'm calling you from jail. I've been in jail for 8 months.
8 months?
And that's not because I'm convicted of a crime, but because I've been denied bail by a small little Florida town who is intent on getting even with me.
Wow. So denied bail. There are people that kill people, and they get to go out on bail.
Let's put it this way. In the same jail in Florida where I was held in Panama City, where I was denied bail, this guy, Herman Harmon, who was one cell over for me because they decided that I should be housed with the murderers, he shot a guy in the head with a .38. He was facing the death penalty. He escaped from the cell. He took a guard hostage. He escaped from the jail, and then the next day they gave him an $85,000 bail, and he got out.
Why does someone have such a hard-on for you that they want to they're just obviously trying to ruin you? Why?
I mean, you know, they claim to be zealots.
This call is subject to monitoring and recording.
There's a little gem there.
It's from our side.
They claim to be zealots, and, you know, it's definitely not a moral town. Panama City, Florida is not a moral... I mean, there's 9 strip clubs and 25 adult sex shops
nice.
in a town of 7,000 people. So, you know, they've claimed to have taken a moral stance against me and Girls Gone Wild, but it really started in 2003 when I sued these guys. When they told me I couldn't come film Girls Gone Wild on spring break, and I sued, you know, the mayor, I sued the sheriff, I sued the police, chief of police.
Yeah, that might have done it. That might have done it.
But here's the worst part is I won. And I sued him in federal court in Tallahassee, and I said, I'm coming anyways. Now, 2 weeks after I was successful and I beat these guys, they charged me with 71 felonies, totaling 335 years in prison. And, I mean, I've had a traffic ticket. That's my run-in with the law my entire life.
Wow.
And then they seized my plane. They sent out a press release saying a quantity of cocaine had been found aboard Joe Francis's plane. This was in 2003. All total BS. Total made-up, fabricated. That's since come out. It came out, you know, later. I got the plane back.
And,
you
did? Okay.
And they admitted lying. The police officer, this guy, Richard Bagwell, said I made it up.
Wow.
And, I mean, nothing happened to him. Now I'm in a lawsuit. I've been in a lawsuit with the sheriff's department for 4 years now. And made up the charges against me, admitted lying. Okay, so they dropped 67 of the 71 felonies. Still cost me about $20 million in legal fees, you know, to fight these guys.
Well, you sold a lot of tapes and DVDs.
You know, but this is, guys, it's like, now I'm sitting in jail, and you know how I got here?
How?
Same town, same people. The judge put me in jail on a civil lawsuit. The judge told me to settle or go to jail. Now, this doesn't happen. This is the United States. You know, I wanted to go to trial, and I said I had the right to trial. He told me to shut up, and he said that I no longer have the right to trial. He took that away from me, and the guy who was representing the people suing me was his ex-law partner and the guy's best friend for 35 years, and the guy who gave the speech when the judge got confirmed. I mean, this is just a mess. And I've been in jail for 8 months, guys, without bail, because this guy put me in jail from a civil lawsuit.
Didn't at one point, though, you actually made a deal to settle and cop a plea, and then at the last minute you decided not to?
No, we never, guys. I was in a okay, and that's a really good question because it needs to be clarified. I was in a mediation, a confidential mediation at the Marriott Hotel with lawyers, you know, a court-ordered mediation. I had to be there. I mediated with these guys for 5 days, and they wanted $70 million, and they wouldn't come off that number.
This call is subject to monitoring and recording.
Why am I going to pay money when I know I'm going to win a trial? I told the lawyers I was going to bury them, okay? And then they went back to the judge, and they said, well, he's threatening violence. He told us that he's going to bury us.
Oh, brother.
You know, it's just ridiculous. It was a confidential mediation. They never should have taken anything out of that. And they involved the judge into it. And, guys, I've been in jail since April because of this.
What exactly do they say they're holding you on? Are they contempt?
Okay. In there's another great question, because there is still
Jimmy, all right.
no legal basis for putting me in jail for not settling a civil lawsuit. The judge has still not given a legal basis for it, period, to this day. Now, the reason why they're holding me is upon entering the jail, when I surrendered to an illegal order, I had my own prescription cholesterol pills and Lunesta, which is a non-narcotic sleep aid, which I lawfully possessed, and cash. They, meaning the same officer who charged me with 71 felonies 4 years before, charged me walking into the jail with 2 felony introduction of contraband to a detention facility charges, and refused, the judge, to give me a bail hearing on that, and have been holding me on these ridiculous charges without bail ever since April. That's why this is absurd.
Wow.
So what are you doing there to bide your time?
Ken Burns documentary.
Plenty of time.
Talking to reporters on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it?
it's awful, man. And right now I've set up this website, meetjoefrancis.com, and I mean, I'm trying to get people to go there, and there's a button called Help Now, and I'm trying to get the governor to open an investigation into these guys, because it's gone too far.
Is it true that?
This is Dave Houston.
Yeah.
We actually went public with this because for 4 years Joe maintained silence. We had the law enforcement authorities in Panama City, Florida, issuing false press releases. They admitted they were false, but then wouldn't take them down for a year. On
This
top
call
of
is
that,
subject to monitoring and recording.
Shut the fuck
we were
up.
able to get Joe transferred into the federal system because of this tax indictment. Once we got him into the federal system, within 1 hour, a federal judge reviewed everything, including the Florida cases, and made a decision he should be out on bail. We got him bail. Within 24 hours, the Florida State Court revoked his bail in this 2003 case, and then the 2007 case involving his prescription medication. The judge made a decision that she wasn't even going to grant bail in that case. And when he told you the story of Herman Harmon, that occurred at the same time she made the decision that Joe shouldn't get bail because he possessed his own prescription medication. So we've definitely got a fight on our hands.
Well, is that because she was a woman? You think she was more uptight about the Girls Gone Wild?
I think it's because, guys, it's a small town. There's kind of a good old boy network. You know, they're all in on it. They're all corrupt. I mean, look, it even gets worse. This guy, Steve Meadows, I don't know, are you guys familiar with this boot camp case where they killed this 14-year-old kid?
Yeah.
Same place.
Is it? Yeah, they have videotape. Yeah.
And the same state attorney who covered it up, and then he went out, and then he called, and then the governor tried to fire him. The same guy that's prosecuting me was the guy who called Barack Obama, Osama bin Laden, and Jesse Jackson, Jesse James, and then for some reason didn't have 9 months of email and covered up the boot camp killing. I don't know. That's a long story. But now what this guy has done to me is he, has shown that this tape of child pornography that he alleges of these 17-year-old girls that was the whole foundation of their 2003 case that a cameraman shot who wasn't directly working for Girls Gone Wild. And he showed it to Martin Bashir, which this guy has alleged was child pornography. So the guy's like committing felonies now, trying to prosecute me.
When Martin Bashir went down to do the interview for Nightline, he didn't, let's put it this way, Steve Meadows didn't do well on the interview, and at the close of his interview, he takes Martin Bashir and his production crew back and then shows him this piece of film that he calls child pornography. The reason I say that is because we have not seen it. They would not give a copy of it to the defense attorneys. And the reason they wouldn't do that is the state attorney said, well, we can't. It's child pornography. Or if we were to give you this, it would be child pornography. But yet he's showing it to an ABC News Nightline crew. Then he sends ABC News in New York a copy of this tape, all for the purpose of swaying the editor's opinion about Joe Francis so they would do a negative piece on Joe, which is clearly something a prosecutor should never do, let alone the fact he's disseminating child pornography and displaying child pornography. These are the type of people that we're up against, and they will literally do anything they can do, whether it's lawful or otherwise, in order to try to destroy Joe Francis's life.
Sounds like
This call is subject to monitoring and
I'd like to see that lady's tits, whoever she is.
Sounds like Joe's fucked.
Joe, that's disgusting that's happening to you.
What is? I mean, I'm trying to clear up all the misconceptions that out there. But what? I mean, you guys have heard a completely different story probably about why I'm in jail and why this. I mean, right? Did you guys have a different impression?
There's a few stories. The one about the girls that were only 17, and then the some kind of tax problem.
There is a tax issue, which I do have bail on. That's correct.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not in jail because of the tax issue. I'm in jail because of Florida.
So you never filmed girls underage, right? Naked?
Now, the allegation of the 17-year-old girls, and from the 2003 incident when they charged me with 71 felonies because two 17-year-olds took a shower and I wasn't there, is ridiculous. They, an independent contractor shooting footage that he sells to Girls Gone Wild, filmed two girls that lied about their age, that presented false identification, that signed written release forms. By the way, all of this is posted at meetjoefrancis.com. You can read their written release forms where they, lied about their age. They lied about their age on camera. Yeah. They admitted lying about their age, and they did a shower scene for this cameraman.
Nice.
I've never seen the tape. I wasn't there.
I have.
And they felt because I owned the company that I was liable somehow.
Now, what does this all mean for Girls Gone Wild Island?
Well, Girls Gone Wild is, people buy Girls Gone Wild because it's hot, naked chicks. People don't buy Girls Gone Wild as much as I'd like to think for Joe Francis. Girls Gone Wild, thrives, and the funny thing about it is, controversy, sales have gone up.
I thought you were.
It continues to be,
I thought.
And that's free. That's free action for you. You don't have to pay for it. It's come on.
That one. Have you gotten heat from that because the commercials are pretty risque? Not for me. I would like to see internal examinations. Tell you the truth, but the Girls Gone Wild logo over the nipples and vagina and it's barely showing and the chick's making out. You get a lot of complaints about that.
I mean, we don't. I mean, they have to. They're vetted through standards and practices of the majors. So
yeah.
I mean, we go through a lot. I mean, you should see the versions that I want to air that are pre S&T.
Hey, what kind of abuse in jail? Did you talk about that yet?
Oh.
Here, hold on. I'm going to call back and talk to Dave Houston here for a second.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for using Evercom.
Wait, we actually have to talk to a lawyer for a few minutes to Phil? Are you kidding me?
That way.
Hey, what kind of abuse was he gone through in jail?
In the Panama City facility, let me just give you a list of it. First of all, they'd put his food outside of his reach. They'd come by later, and they'd say, oh, looks like Joe Francis doesn't want to eat today. Well, we better make a note of that. They'd take the food away. They'd put him in a cell they could cool down, and they'd keep it at about 60 degrees and wouldn't give him a blanket. They also had him in a cell with what amounted to a street light that they kept on 24 hours a day. And we're talking a small area lit up by what amounts to a street light. And one of the other major league hits was when they would take him to allow him a shower, which was infrequent. They'd put him in shackles and belly chains and then handcuff him to the belly chains while he was in the shower. Now, that just gives you a kind of a preview of the sort of treatment that he was receiving.
Well, exactly. What did he film the wrong girl? Like, is there a chick that he filmed down there that's related to the sheriff or the judge?
No, what really happened was in 2003, Panama City Beach, Florida, made a decision. They wanted to start changing their image. They want to get rid of this spring break phenomenon they live off that they created. When Joe Francis made the decision he was going to do spring break in Panama City, Florida, they told him straight up, you're not coming here. And publicly, they announced that he was scum-sucking trash, and if he tried to come to their town, he'd be arrested. Joe made the mistake of enforcing his First Amendment rights. He went through the federal court process to do it, which is appropriate, and when he won, you heard the rest of the story. 2 weeks later, he's arrested for more felonies than one person has ever been charged with in the state of Florida at one time.
Well, so what's going to eventually happen? What's his next legal step? How long is he going to be trapped there for?
We have a writ, which is simply an emergency motion. It's our way of saying to a federal judge, Judge, you need to review what the state of Florida is doing to this guy. They're perverting your order where you allowed him bail. They're perverting the Constitution because they're taking away all of his due process rights. They're out on the airwaves trying to poison the public against him so they can prejudice a jury pool. So we're asking a federal judge to get involved and tell Florida, I'm not going to honor your hold. I'm going to allow Joe Francis to bail out, and he'll be free up until the time you give him a trial.
Wow. What kind of ramifications will there be for the, I don't know, the prosecutor, but the judge or the sheriff? What kind of ramifications are they going to face?
We've asked the governor of the state of Florida, and this is something your listeners can help us with, and the attorney general of the state of Florida to open an investigation, not only into this whole matter as it concerns what they've done to Joe Francis, but as well the felonies that we allege the state prosecutor committed when he's showing child pornography to Martin Brashear. If the governor, and we have no doubt, listen, this isn't an indictment of the entire state of Florida. This is one small county. We're asking the people of Florida through the governor and the attorney general's office to get involved and to cure this problem, because obviously it's out of control. If that happens, if your listeners are willing to do so, they can go to this website, meetjoefrancis.com. They can click a button that says Help Now. That button will then take them to a place where they can just put their email, name, and address. That then auto-generates a letter to the governor and the attorney general requesting they get involved in an investigation of this county.
Good. So basically, if you like tits, you should go to that website.
Absolutely.
If you want to see tits in the future.
Hey, Joe, is it true that you're making Guys Gone Wild tapes in jail?
Joe Francis goes wild.
You know, the truth is, we own the Guys Gone Wild brand, and I just can't.
How
make
about
it.
Prisoners Gone Wild on Joe Francis's ass?
We've seen some of the infomercials.
Subject to monitoring
Of
and
course.
recording.
Are you guys interested in starring? Is that why you're asking me? Or?
No, some of those infomercials are like hot college guys, and you go,
Well, now,
it's the same format, but somehow it's.
You would have had to been watching the Logo Network, because I think we're only. I don't.
I love Logo.
Only on Logo. I think.
Great.
So what you're saying, Joe, is that you're having a good time.
Why have you guys never been out with me on a Girls Gone Wild shoot before?
I don't know.
Because you never invited us, Joe.
We don't want to go to jail.
I'm inviting you right now.
You don't want to go to jail.
Dude, as soon as you get out.
Yeah, right. Because
Soon
we
as you
like
get
our
out.
Right now,
freedom.
maybe not, but spring break. I think we can go out and have
What,
some fun.
How about jailbreak?
when are you looking at getting out? Do you know?
Would you guys come get me?
Yeah, we'll just bust you out.
Are you aware of our Whip 'em Out Wednesday promotion, Joe?
Tell me about
great.
that.
We do a little tit thing, too. But we stay
Yeah.
out of jail.
Good. We try to anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, you had Doug Stanhope help you once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about that, and I think he was
Why are you laughing? What did he say?
because he was stoned the entire time, and he had no clue what was going on. I saw the commercials for it.
I mean, that was basically the entire time he worked for us. He
Yeah.
was stoned and drunk.
He was just drunk off his ass, and when I saw the infomercial for that one, I was like, oh my God, Doug does not know where he is. He's slurring through
Really
the
doesn't.
commercial.
Half the time, he really doesn't know where he is.
Hey, Joe, when
Surprised he actually makes it to the shoots.
Yeah.
when is your writ going to be answered by the judge, or however you phrase that?
This is Dave Houston, guys. We're trying to get a hearing this week,
Yeah.
and we're asking the federal judge to look at some supplemental information we filed last week as well. There's absolutely no reason that justifies Joe Francis as far as this continued incarceration. It's crazy, and I've done this for almost 30 years. I've never seen a case like this. I've never seen one this abusive that's based on less of a charge. And a lot of times I tell them this story, and people say, hey, okay, well, what's the other side? You got to be leaving something out. So when we created this website, we made sure to support everything with court orders, transcripts, articles, documents. And this isn't our side of what's happening. This is what's happened. And it's so hard to get people to believe it because it is so outrageous, and that's really our biggest hurdle, even in the federal court system.
Florida
The federal judge reads it and doesn't want to believe this could be true.
Florida seems to have this moral thing where they really are all about tits and ass, the majority of the state, for spring break, and they love the fact that people are down there in bikinis just fucking and going crazy. But then they try to clean up every once in a while. Like they arrested Luther Campbell, I think, was in Broward
Lenny
County.
Bruce, too, right?
Yeah, they really are full of shit down in Florida.
Well, you know what the mayor said, and this is really telling about spring break? He said it was time to, quote, take it in the backyard, dig a hole, shoot it in the head, and bury it. And that's what they want to do. They want to shove it out of the way because now they want to sell timeshares and
This call is subject to monitoring and recording.
And the problem is Joe Francis didn't create spring break in Panama City, Florida. He just went down to film what they created, and that's why they wanted to shut him up.
Now, is the company still running with you in jail?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a very talented. The president of my company, Scott Barber, runs the company.
You like a Don. In jail running things.
The what?
You're like a Don in jail, still running things, though.
You know, it's you know, look, I mean, we're in 15 countries. We'll be in 30 countries by the end of next year. I mean, girls. You're not going to kill Girls Gone Wild. You know, I know their goal was to kill Girls Gone Wild more than Joe Francis, and you know, but Girls Gone Wild is Girls Gone Wild. You know, it's not going anywhere.
Joe, you're a martyr for everyone who likes jacking off. And hang in there.
MeetJoeFrancis.com, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll encourage the listeners to go there. All right, man. Good luck to you, Joe.
Guys, hey, thank you so much, man. It was cool hanging out with you guys.
All right, take care.
Later, man.
Thanks.
Man, that shit makes me so angry when I hear about the legal system abusing a guy on a moral level like that just for showing tits. That is enraging. If that's the story.
Girls that lied about their age and they were 17.
Of course it is.
Tomorrow
fuckheads in Florida. Especially if they were 17. It's like, come on, man. Not a 13-year-old girl. 17.
But I have 3 daughters, so I get a little. I'm both a perv and I'm also a dad.
Sure. You're just disappointed that they haven't been asked.
Well, you know, I've been with 60 to 70 underage girls and filmed it. And but Jeff made a full documentary, a 20-hour documentary.
Yes,
this guy should not be in
Gone Wild.
He should not be in jail for that shit. That is enraging, those fucking hillbillies.
I'm sure him going on your radio show really helps his cause.
It absolutely does, though, because it's like they're going to... You get people like calling...
He's a douchebag.
Doesn't help.
Doesn't matter. He still shouldn't be in jail for 8 months.
Showing off and bragging from jail.
I think he should be in jail for being in the videos. Like, stay out.
Horse's ass he may be. He should not be in jail for fucking 8 months. Because those fucking hillbillies don't like what he's doing.
That censorship is what it is. It is. But
go, Bob. Finish it.
No, I don't know. I didn't talk during it because it's an awkward.
He's completely right. If what he's saying is true, again, I'm not saying...
It's karma. He's a douchebag, and they're...
You don't like him?
Every time I see him, he's bragging and cocky, and
I've met him.
It doesn't turn me on.
He's been nice to me over the years. You know,
but you're Bob Saget. Everybody's nice to you.
You didn't have to work my name into this, did you?
Everyone's
name dropper.
I kind of wanted to keep it under the radar.
Bob wasn't even in here the last half hour.
I didn't know what was going on.
Hey, Joe may be a total horse's ass, but legally they cannot fucking lock a guy up without bail.
You're right.
I agree.
For 8 months.
You're correct.
Fucking sickening.
It's unconstitutional.
All right, listen.
Fucking disgusting. MeetJoeFrancis.com.